Okay, a very good morning from IMEC's head office in Hampshire in the UK. For those who perhaps do not know me, my name is Adam Lewis and I'm the head of training and operations at IMEC. I've got to declare at this point that this session has been recorded, and I'll come on to why in just a bit. Now, the reason we wanted to hold this webinar today is because IMEC is quite a survey-heavy organisation, if you like. And we make no apology for that, because we need to use the information from our members to take to go up larger into the industry and act on your behalf. But the survey we're about to launch is very different. So we wanted to engage with all our members within a webinar at this introductory stage to explain to you what we're doing and why. So the main difference with this survey is we're using a third party, which we've never done before. And that third party is Marine Benefits. And the second big difference with this survey is, rather than trusting us to use your information to act on your behalf, within the survey, you're going to get a direct benefit almost straight away. So we want to explain to you where the benefits are going to come in for you. Now, what we're going to be discussing today, the Refresh survey, is the combination of about 2 years' work. About 2 years ago, our XCOM and our recruitment and training committee started to look at initiatives of onboard welfare. We started to discuss things like exercise programs and nutrition. And what we decided at that time is, even though we've got some great ideas, we actually don't know the root cause of the problems. We don't know if there's a problem of physical exercise on board, or whether it's nutrition based, whether it's diabetes based. So what we decided is, to get to that root problem, we needed to bring in a third party specialist to help us actually ascertain what's happening. Now, I must admit that it sort of took a backseat for a while, because our negotiations and our training had to take the forefront of our activities. But of course, at the beginning of this year, COVID has kicked in. And I think if there's any positive that COVID has brought in, it means we can talk openly, a bit more open dialogue about what's happening on board, especially things like mental health. So COVID, if you like, has acted like a catalyst for us to really push this survey to the forefront of our agenda. Now, many of you may have heard of the Marine Benefits Refresh program before. If you haven't, don't worry, we will go through everything today. But rather than launching cold and just sending a survey link out to our members, we wanted to run this webinar so you could hear directly from us why we're doing the survey. You can hear directly from Marine Benefits about what the survey entails, and we'll also allow some time at the end for questions and answers. So as a format of this webinar, in a minute, I will hand over to Marine Benefits, who will give you about 20-minute presentation on the Refresh program. Then you'll get to hear from one of our members from his experience of running the survey in India. And then we'll move into a formal question and answer session. Now, like I say, this session is being recorded. The reason being is, hopefully at the end, we'll be able to take this recording and we can give it then to members who haven't been able to attend this session. But to ensure confidentiality of everyone involved, what I will ask is, if you can please ask your questions for the Q&A section at the bottom of Zoom. I'll then read them out and keep the question proposer confidential. So at this point, it's my great pleasure to hand over to Rebecca Miha from Marine Benefits, who will give you a presentation on the program. Thank you, Rebecca.
So, good morning, and thank you for the introduction. I'm Rebecca Mejia, and I'm a public health manager at Marine Benefits. Let me just share my screen and I will start here. There we go. Oh, do you see my? Sorry.
Yes, Rebecca, we can see the screen.
Can you see my presentation?
Yes, Rebecca.
All right, there we go. Okay, so I would like to introduce you to the Refresh program. Refresh is a health risk assessment tool that we developed a few years back at Marine Benefits. The aim is to look at health risks that are seen among our seafarers prior to giving, having an outcome. We know health risk factors such as exercise and diet and so on, what the risks are to develop, for example, high blood pressure, obesity, that we know are risk factors to a lot of diseases. So when a seafarer reaches his, or he goes through his pre-employment examination, he is either fit or found not fit to serve on board the vessel. And once he's found not fit, that is already a fact, and he has to take action to become fit again, or he cannot board. So we want to also look at the risk prior to that, so that we can stop or sort of prevent these diseases from developing and occurring. So the refresh program is, we look at health from a holistic perspective. We look into psychological areas and such as stress, happiness, depression, and so on, and also social aspects on board, looking at how they perceive their work and their skills and social relationships on board. But we also have physical aspects, how they sleep, smoke, exercise, and so on. So we will get a sort of a holistic view of the seafarer's health and well-being. This would also enable you as a shipping company or manning agency to know in what areas to put in the best and the most effective health promotion programs in your company. And the models and the scales that we use in the survey are all taken from different universities, organizations, institutions, and they've all been validated in their own right through different studies previously. We have our first refresh study was carried out among Filipino seafarers on Norwegian controlled ships. And then we had another one of Indian seafarers, 2018, on international ships. And then lastly, we did, just last year, we had a study on Myanmar seafarers. We also did a smaller study on women in shipping. And right now, we're carrying out a study, a well-being edition, where we've taken out some parts of the refresh, looking at only psychological and social aspects of the well-being equation. So we have more than 25 seafarers, so 21,000 seafarers so far that have gone through this survey, and there are more than 15 nationalities that have participated also in this. So we have been collecting quite a lot of data, and we'll be able to work more and do more studies and looking into the health and well-being of seafarers going forward. So we have seen through refresh, but also through our claims, and that seafarers' health is declining, and with it risks are rising, and also claims costs. And this is a trend that not only in the seafaring community, but is a global trend overall. And then we also see that the most risks, or the most diseases that we see that the seafarers go to the doctor for, or the illnesses that occur, are cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, cancer, respiratory diseases, and other non-communicable diseases. These are non-communicable disease is something that is not contagious. It depends on our lifestyle, and the root causes to this is physical inactivity, obesity, stress, smoking, harmful use of alcohol, unhealthy diet, among others. So these areas are what we will look into through refresh. And we know that heart issues, heart-related issues, is one of the top reasons for a seafarer to visit the doctor. And actually 80% of all non-communicable diseases could actually be prevented by a healthier lifestyle. We have the equation for a healthier life that we use in Marine Benefits. Having a balance between these four will lead to a better health outcome. But we do see among our seafarers, but also globally, that people in general, they eat more, and we have a poorer diet than we had previously. We move less. We don't have to move as much anymore with all beautiful technology that is coming into our lives. We need to re-engineer movement into our lives. We sleep less. We sleep poorer. And we also have poorer social relations. With positive relations, there's also stress management and social aspects. But a balance between these four is what we find is an improvement for health in general. This equation for a healthier life is also part of our Restart, is another program that we have developed. Health promotion program looking into these aspects that we have developed specifically for the seafarers on board. Zooming out a little bit and looking at a global, these aspects on a global view, in the years to come, that we see that middle income countries will, the mortality rate is increasing by 6 times, and in low-income countries by 4 times. And we know also that majority of our seafarers come from these two groups of countries. Therefore, they are also more susceptible for non-communicable diseases, and it is a combination of these countries' political system and so on. And so it's from a larger perspective. However, by addressing these factors early enough, we can see changes. And in the shipping industry, if we can do something to empower the seafarer, to open the eyes of the seafarers and within ourselves, we would be able to change the trend. So here is another image showing how the costs are trending. We have, the diseases and treating disease is trending straight upwards, and if we put in a health promotion attitude or programs in our industry, we might be able to slow the trend down. Prevention is more preventing diseases, risk factors that we see. And then promote health is stay healthy and just promote health in general. So our pure vision of Refresh is to improve health of the modern seafarer, but also reduce the risks that come with this ill health. There are other areas that also are part of the vision and part of a positive outcome of Refresh. It enables you to directed health promotion initiatives. It's part of your loss prevention initiatives. It gives insights and education and training, and it could be part of a corporate social responsibility. And also a lot of the areas that we look at through Refresh are also connected to these lifestyle, and areas are also connected to the different titles of the MLC. Now, going back to the present situation that we're in, and why this is important now more than ever, we see that the situation the seafarers are facing while on board the ship, but also while at home, they face uncertainty, stress, depression, increase of depression, isolation, loneliness, and probably other areas also. But other other than that, we know from the last 6 months, the international community, health community, public health agencies, and around the world have learned now that there are some areas that increase the risk and the outcome of COVID-19. Of course, we know that age is a high risk factor in itself, but other areas of risk is hypertension, obesity, asthma, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, smoking, and then age, of course. And these are the areas and the risks of these that Refresh looks into. So the program itself is built up in different sections. You can see the area here with the Refresh standard, and this is the one that we have planned for this IMEC study. So it is a survey taking out in, these are the different measurements that the survey takes into account, and the idea is that you will receive a survey link which you can send to all your seafarers, both at home, while they're at home off duty, but also on board the vessel. It's a self-assessment, so the seafarer himself puts in all his answers, and it's also anonymous. So it's a survey that is on a group level. So this is each seafarer, when he logs into the survey, this is the page that he will see in the beginning, and he can decline, agree or disagree to participate. So he has that choice and that option, and this page also describes it's totally confidential. There's nothing, we don't expect them to, there's nowhere they will put in crew ID or a name, so we cannot link any answers to a specific seafarer. So more on the results and what you will get out of it. So the results will be part of a total industry report with all the participants. You will also, as a company participating, get your own company data. So you will get your own specific data, so you will know where your seafarers are at. The survey is broken down, and the results are broken down to per rank, age, vessel type, and nationality, and on home and on board. And then when your company results will be benchmarked against the total industry, so you will know where you're at in comparison to the rest of the maritime community. Have you been part of the Refresh survey before? We will look at and compare your results to your previous the previous study you were part of. To the right here, you see this was from the Myanmar study. This is just a sum up with average results, but of course the proper report is extensive, going through all these details. So this is what you would be receiving from this study. You would have your individual presentation also with your results. So what will happen is, before the study, you need to sign up. You will, I think somehow you will be receiving this presentation, but there will also be links provided to you where you can sign up. You just click the link and put in the name of your company and so on. So this will need to happen in the next coming weeks. You will receive, once you have signed up, you will receive a survey link that you will test with your IT department on a couple of vessels to see that it works and the firewalls are taken down and so on. And then also we have found that in these surveys that if you within your company discuss ways, maybe initiatives, make it, have a raffle or something, reward the different vessels and so on, for participating, you will have a higher response rate among your crew. So the links will go live on November 2, and then you can send them out to all your crew on board and at home. The survey takes, it is quite a long survey, it covers a lot. So it takes about 30 to 40 minutes to answer. We have found in previous studies that junior officers who are more tech savvy, they can take it in 17 minutes quick. Senior officers and ratings sometimes it takes a little bit longer, and that could be technical issues or it could be language issues. So we would say that 30 to 40 minutes in average is what you would need. And then we will contact you if we will keep an update on the response rate to all the companies, and if we see that you're lagging behind, and then we will send out a reminder and encouragement for you to encourage your seafarers to answer the questions. And then after this, we've collected all the data from the seafarers. We will start schedule individual company presentations and present the results and have a discussion and a few health recommendations of how you possibly could work around those issues that have shown in the report. And then we will also have the big industry report ready by April 21. And then as I mentioned before, if you previously participated in Refresh, we will compare these to your old results. So here's the timeline that you see here. So registration will start soon, and by the end of October, you will have, if you sign up, you will have the test link. Survey period in November, and then we will have need some time to analyze the results, and then we will schedule the individual presentations and reports. So just to mention that Refresh is part of a larger picture. It's that we call the journey. So we have the Refresh here, where we send out, we get the results, and when you have the results, it's sort of you're in the middle of the journey and you do your own risk assessment, look at your own data of repatriation, maybe you have pre-employment data, and you put this together. You can create a program for your company. You will have, from us, you will have some skills and knowledge about your seafarer's status, and then you create your plan and run it through your company. And then of course there's a possibility to run after this process is done, and it's a possibility to run the survey again to see if there are any improvements. So that was it for me. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Thank you very much, Rebecca. Before I hand over to Rajesh, I've seen questions coming in now, so I'll just encourage you to put any questions into the Q&A chat function at the bottom, and we'll come on to those in a minute. So at this point, I would like to hand over to a gentleman who I'm sure needs no introduction, as he's our immediate past chairman. Captain Rajesh Tandon is the Global Director at B Group Manpower Services, and I'll hand over to Rajesh to talk about his experiences of the survey in India. Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you, Adam. Thanks, Rebecca, for that detailed explanation. Good day to everybody and welcome to this presentation. I've been asked to speak because I have had experience of working with Refresh, and we've had some takeaways that have worked well for us. So briefly, I first came across this Refresh baseline study report that Rebecca mentioned for Filipino seafarers way back in, I think, 2016 or 2017. What caught my particular interest was the simplistic yet pertinent outputs that this report provided after examining the data of some 2,500 seafarers working across various companies, vessel types, ranks in both onboard and ashore environments. Based by this report, along with some of my other industry colleagues, and if I talk off the top of my head, we had participants from Scorpio, MSC, BW Shipping, TK, Wallums, Anglo-Eastern, Bernard Schulte. We carried out a survey for the Indian community, Indian seafaring community, and this was in 2018, and we got the results which not only benchmarked us against the workforce that was surveyed from these companies, but also against the national averages. So it told us where the health quotient of our seafarers lay and helped us work towards finding ways and means to address those. This survey was then followed by a V Group company-wide survey across all nationalities. And the results that we got over there have helped us build a strategy and work towards improving the overall health and well-being of our seafarers. Life at sea continues to become more complex and challenging, and especially the stress during this current pandemic-ridden environment. I believe that this study could greatly assist in understanding and identifying trends and patterns in health-related issues, both physical and psychological amongst the present-day seafarers. What excites me no end is that this opportunity with the survey where IMEC members participate and we can collectively benefit from it all. Given the wide base and demographic plus geographical spread of our membership, the diverse sample of the participants could potentially assist companies in profiling the typical health-related risks amongst the seafaring workforce across the industry, as well as in comparison to their own peer group. This information would be key to identify and address areas of concern, as well as improve the overall health and well-being of our seafarers, focusing on areas that are highlighted by the outcome of this survey. As V Group, I can say that Refresh has enabled us to take initiatives toward workplace intervention programs, wherein the seafarer is encouraged and empowered towards personal lifestyle changes and behavioral changes that will influence personal health and the vessel's health overall. I think I'll go back to you, Adam, now, and we can open the question and answer session. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Rajesh. So I see we've got a couple of questions coming in, and we also have Casper Melland, who's the CEO of Marine Benefits, ready to answer any questions as well. So Rebecca, if I could just ask you to put your camera and mic back on, and I'll ask these first questions that have come in. So the first questions come in, and I think this is referring to the 2018 survey in India. And the question is, will the survey be conducted in a similar manner to the previous survey?
Yes, that is right. It's very much like the first survey. We have since then had improved and updated the system a little bit. So most likely it will be smoother, quicker, and more efficient than that time around. So, but the survey itself is very much the same, and more the technological issues around it we've improved and worked on.
Excellent, thank you. And next question is, will participating companies be provided with a full set of data for their crew? Meaning not only the survey results, but also the raw data that supports the results.
You will get your individual report with all these breakdowns. It is quite extensive, it's quite long, but the raw data we will not share with you.
Yeah, that makes sense. Great. So I think that's all the questions that are coming for now. So just like to remind everybody, this is time. If you want any questions answered, please ask them now. So perhaps what I'll do. Sorry, Rebecca, you can.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to mention when we send out the test link for you to send it out to a couple of vessels to check the firewalls and so on, that is also a time for you where you can look through the questionnaire yourself, and then you will see all the questions. And then after, when it goes live, all your dummy answers that you put in will be deleted.
Excellent, thank you. Rajesh.
Yeah, I just have one clarification to Lavina's question about whether the survey will be similar to what we did in 2018. And just to add to what Rebecca said, I think what we did in 2018, there were some studies or measurements taken directly in the offices as well. That perhaps is not going to be done this time because of the COVID restrictions, and it's only going to be an online returns, if I'm not mistaken, Rebecca. Could you clarify that?
Yes, no, that is correct. In these previous industry studies that we've had, we have done face-to-face surveys also with a selection of seafarers, where we have done actual body measurements as waistline, height, weight, and so on, and we've interviewed them, and then we get the actual body measures and blood pressure of the seafarers. So for this study, of course, we can't take the blood pressure, we can't get the actual weight and height to calculate the BMIs, but we'll still get an indication. We do see and we know that doing these in real life, we get a accurate estimate of the BMI and blood pressure, but this will be but it's not far off. So to that question, that part with the face-to-face and the actual measurements, we cannot do it this time. So we'll have to the seafarers will just put in their own measurements in the survey.
Okay. Very good questions just come in about the level of aggregations that will exist in the final survey, as in will it be split between different nationalities, for example?
In the industry report, because of all of participating companies together, we will have the ability to look more into, let's say, the top 5, top 10, depending on how many from each nationality answer the questions. We will be able to look at the differences between them. Per company, I mean, if you're a big company, we could also have the top 3, top 10, top 5 nationalities, but of course for smaller companies the strength of the study will not be as big if we, you know, if you only have 100 participants or so, the outcome will not be as clear or sure.
Right, that makes sense, thank you. We have a bit more time to answer any questions if anybody has anything else, but what I'll do at this time is explain the process we'll undertake from here. So within the next 24 hours, we should have a new page launched in the secure area of the IMEC website. And what that will contain is hopefully a video of this webinar, a transcript of the question and answers, a copy of the presentation, but most importantly, a link of where to sign up for the survey. So like Rebecca said, we'll have a phasing in period, if you like, at the beginning, where you'll be able to go in, register, you'll be able to test the link, see what questions there are. And then we'll go live for a 2-week period in November. And then the plan is that during the AGM next year, we'll present the gross results. So not per company, but the overall gross results. It doesn't look like there's any more questions coming in. Oh, we have another one. Oh, it's just this one's about a clarification of the question before. So about the survey results, will they be shared with all IMEC members rather than per company? And let me just read them right. So will the survey be shared with all IMEC members and not so much about the report that will be issued per company? Maybe I can answer that one if I understand this correctly. So what we'll be looking at as IMEC is the overall results. So we want to be looking at within potentially 9,000 vessels where problems exist, but per company you'll get a company specific results, if I understand that Rebecca?
Yes, that's correct. So no company's individual results will be exposed anywhere in the total industry. So the IMEC report. So your companies will take that out, and only you will receive that.
Right. If I haven't answered that question correctly, please feel free to give me a call afterwards, and we can talk over it and get a full answer on for you. We've got another question come in. So based on the survey outcome, would companies be provided with some recommendations from your end, as in marine benefits, or will it purely be the survey results you'll give them?
We always have, when we have the presentation, some recommendations on how to work with this, but of course it's some of them would be quite general, but of course with your specific results we can give some recommendations, but that would also be a dialogue and a discussion during that meeting.
Right, thank you. Thank you. Okay, doesn't any more questions come in? I just want to say hello to Casper, who's just come onto the camera as well.
I felt obliged to put on my camera and be ready for the question that was just about what do we do afterwards. If I could just say two quick words on that. In general, this entire analysis and everything we do here will be free of charge for IMEC and all IMEC members. And when we share the company-specific results with everyone, we will of course then share some of our experience on measures taken that works and things that has worked. But when it comes to taking it to the next level on specific follow-up, starting the full voyage and measures like that, that is something that we would then normally do for our clients and not free of charge for everyone else out there. But we will give as much as we can based upon the first results when we have it. And normally, and the most important thing is that it will be an eye-opener for many. Instead of thinking you know, you will know. And based upon that, our lesson learned throughout is that the best recommendations, the best thoughts anyone can think, that's your own. Meaning if the companies can start planning based upon the outcome of the survey, statistically that will be successful. And if they want to take it to the next level, we are ready at that stage to do that with every company. But then it will be as a client of Marine Benefits, of course.
Of course. And what I should have mentioned as well is the link we'll give members today about how to register. There's also a non-disclosure agreement with Marine Benefits on there. And this probably goes without saying, but your company results will be confidential between yourselves and Marine Benefits. So even as IMEC, we won't see your company results, we'll just see the overall gross results, if you like. Perfect. Well, I don't think there's any more questions come in. So unless any speakers want to raise any other points.
I would, sorry, I'm sorry. I would just like to once you register, you will hear from, you will get a reply from either me or my colleague Ingrid, who is also a project coordinator for this this study. So most likely from one of us, you will be hearing, getting some feedback and more information as we start.
Excellent, thank you. So like we say, we'll start that process today. The link will go out to the membership today, and we'll go from there. And I just want to make one clarification as well, that the companies won't get the raw data. What you will get is an extended report at the end, so that's what you can expect at the end of the process. Great. Well, so at this point, I would like to thank everybody, all the speakers, for conducting the webinar today, and all of our members who have joined. And like I say, we'll send out a circular within the next 24 hours, and that will have the process of where we go from here. So, so thank you very much, and we'll communicate with you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.